we are all wearing a lot of hats and managing a lot of things. And just that grace and laughter, that grace and that laughter for ourselves. Yep, didn't work out. That's okay. I can lean in these other ways and it might end up better than I ever thought possible.
Welcome to the Lara Jane Layton Show. This podcast is for you, the person who keeps putting others first. Your self-talk has held you back. You no longer need to take a second seat. Let's explore ways to overcome self-doubt. You can silence that inner bully voice and achieve your full potential. Here's your host, Lara Jane.
Welcome back to the show, friend. I have a new best friend, Lora, here with me today. And you know what? This is going to be so fun because we have been talking about expectations. I know. We all have expectations. What's this crazy, silly thing? But did you know sometimes those expectations are causing you problems? Like, yes, I expected the store to be open. I remember the first time when I ran into the pharmacist that was closed at lunchtime, and it was like, when did this start happening? These expectations that can totally let you down. And it is not just with external things, it's our internal also. What am I expecting me to do? Oh, I thought I was going to be happy all day long today and I had a grungy. Oh no, I'm mad at myself. So all of these things are burning us out because we're trying so hard to be all to everything. And so Laura's going to help us let go or at least frame some of those expectations and help us to live throughout our day without that betraying ourselves over and over again. So before we get started, we're going to get a quick word from our sponsor when we come back. Let's stop the cycle. We'll be right back.
This is Adam Adams, co-founder of Optimized LLC, where we take the guesswork out of your health. If you're feeling exhausted, struggling with weight, or just not feeling yourself anymore, your hormones might be the problem. And that's why we test, not guess. Analyzing your blood work to pinpoint exactly what's holding you back. At Optimized LLC, we help you rebalance your hormones, boost energy, and reclaim your life. Don't settle for normal. Aim for optimized. Just go to optimized.com to book your free introductory coaching call. It's a free call to help you take the first step toward feeling your best.
All right, Laura, the information about using this show notes. So everything is there ready for a friend that's here with us. But let's talk about, and you and I are both wordsmithers when it's, how do I say this that is encouraging and it gets me excited to do something instead of detrimental? And it's the same thing. It's not like I'm saying anything different. It's, I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm choosing to go to the grocery store, or I have to go to the grocery store. Which one do you want to do? Which one feels better? Wear that one. So we're going to talk about what feels better and how we wear the things that feel the best. So, Laura, help me let go of all those expectations.
Yeah. I love how you talk about the choice of do I get to or can I or do I have to? It makes such a difference. And I think even when we talk about expectations, when you talk about expectations, isn't that an exciting thing? When you're thinking about being young, being a little girl, moving into life, it's going to be fun. I'm going to have this career. I'm going to have this relationship. I'm going to have kids. There's so much excitement moving into life. But then sometimes we get into life and we're like, that's not what I thought. And it's how do we go back and recapture some of those dreams, some of those positive expectations? And yes, gratitude is important. Yes, gratitude is a big piece of it. But how do we bring that in without having it be one more must? I must be grateful for my life. And I think there's so much power in just stepping back sometimes and asking yourself or reminding yourself, what did I expect out of life? What did I expect to be fun out of life? And I think that's the reframe that's really important. What did I expect would be fun?
Well, and also, just because I expected it and it didn't happen like I wanted it to, was it bad? I mean, if you think back, I remember my first kiss. Can you think of all the expectations you had leading up to your first kiss?
Oh,
Oh, you see what's on the movies and you see what's on all these things, and you go, that wasn't it.
mm-mm.
What was missing? Why did I expect something so different? And maybe you got a different one the first time around, but it's rarely, I was going to say never, it's rarely what our minds chose to create. And then it's like, oh, am I let down?
Mhm.
Like, no, it was a first experiment. Who's to say it's got to be this beautiful thing? It was beautiful in its own personal way.
Yeah. And I'm a huge fan of laughter and the story behind it. And there are so many times in my life where, yes, I had this expectation and it wasn't met. But the story of what really happened is so much more rich. And you tell it and you relive it and you giggle over it. And those are the things that keep us engaged. That's what makes life worth living. And yes, in the moment, it might feel catastrophic, but really, most stories, 6 months later, you're going to find some of the humor in it. You're going to see some of the good that comes from that. In my experience, truly, the things that didn't work out have brought me more gifts in the long run than the things that worked out exactly according to plan.
I am there with you. And I try to change the word unfortunately to fortunately.
Mhm.
It wasn't unfortunate that I got into that car accident. What are the things that you got out of it? Oh my gosh, I got a new car and it didn't cost me much at all. Or what is that one situation that you say, oh, unfortunately, I have to leave early? Why? Fortunately, I have a concert to go to tonight and I've got something planned. And it's just that little switch of why are we hating on our outcomes or what we think is other people's expectations when we can just be a little bit more simple of, I'm really looking forward to vacation. And if it rains the whole time and I'm stuck inside, that's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm planning on being outside. Like what is it? How do I not let it let me down?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that also kind of begs the question, are our expectations our own or are they somebody else's? Because sometimes I feel like we can just barrel through life with somebody else's expectations. And when we really drop in, like you were saying, and maybe simplify, do I really expect to do it all perfectly? Or is that an idea that has been implanted in my head from movies, from books, just from our society and culture that that's what I should expect, but really what I expect is different. And I expect time to rest and I expect to be imperfect. And I expect my kids to totally fall apart and derail me sometimes when I expect sometimes to be less than perfect, to be a little bit frustrated or to be tired. Then when I get what I expected, I feel happy because I'm normal.
Yeah, I have a podcast out there called There Is No Normal
Yeah.
because your normal and my normal are different. And that's
Mhm.
the way it's supposed to be. I can't
Mhm.
expect you to follow my normal. Oh,
Nope.
your hair's too long. Well, it's got to take way too long to get ready in the morning. And now I've
Mhm.
just put my value of, I don't want to spend any time on my hair on you. And
Yeah.
that is so, we don't need to do that. We don't need to have other people be us. That role's already taken.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you said that because that's exactly that whole idea of expectations. Normal for me is not normal for you. It's not normal for anybody else other than me. So let's get really clear about what am I I expect to sleep in. I want to sleep in. I'm an early bird. I expect to get up at the crack of dawn. Whatever. Do you. I mean, we're all smart women. We are all wearing a lot of hats and managing a lot of things. And just that grace and I laughter, that grace and that laughter for ourselves. Yep, didn't work out. That's okay. I can lean in these other ways and it might end up better than I ever thought possible.
And how much strength did I get from that? I just learned
Mhm.
that I could push through and make it to the other side. And when the life gets super crappy, when I think I hit rock bottom, the next time I hit it, it's always lower. But it's that cycle. If I only go the same depth I went before, I don't gain new strength.
Huh.
When I'm digging myself out of bigger and deeper and wider holes, that is the strength I'm getting. And it's like, well, nothing should ever go wrong. Well, how,
Eh,
if I wanted a six pack, I can't just think it. I got to go
Darn
to
it.
I know, I got to go to the gym and I got to work on it and I got to get it. And guess what? It's not over then if you want to keep it. You don't get to stop. You keep
Mhm.
doing it every day. And that might sound exhausting, but when you keep doing the things that are important to you, they become part of your life. It's like washing our windows. Why do I have to wash them every so many weeks or months or days, whatever you do? But I like to see out clear.
Mhm.
And why does it always rain right after I got my windows cleaned? So they're dirty again. My expectation should be always just to have dirty windows. No, I'm just kidding. But how I'm just saying is you don't get to do it one time.
Uh-uh.
And at school, we have lessons and we learn and learn and learn, and then you have a test. And you learn and learn and learn, and then you have a test. And these things grow and build upon each other. But all of a sudden, the teacher decides to give you this pop quiz. You didn't
Mm.
study for it the night before, you weren't ready for it. Life is so full of pop quizzes. Like things that you've learned, I've experienced. Why am I getting upset? And it triggered me again because I
Mhm.
didn't really get all the way over it. And every time that quiz comes up, reminds me to wash my window again.
Yeah. I love that you said that. One of my favorite things that I try to hold in my mind is not attaching my expectation to the outcome, but just committing to the journey and being fully present along the way and doing my best. And I love how you talked about sometimes you do have to barrel through a week and just when we can be present and just be fully present and even present in exhaustion or present in joy. Just being fully present is such a joy in itself. And whatever the outcome is, I know that I was in that hole and I was digging and there's such satisfaction in that.
I find satisfaction in knowing what I've been able to get through and overcome and strengthen. But it's like anything, it's a daily thing. And
Mhm.
you stop, your windows are going to get dirty. We don't shower just once in our lives. It's a thing we do all the time to be our best. And that's the same with training our brain and looking at ways that we're not kind to ourselves and how can we change that? And
Mm.
I love the way you talk about that betrayal and how when we're and those are those expectations that we're putting around ourselves that, oh, I expected to go to the grocery store and have everybody be nice and everybody be Speedy Gonzales. So I'm through the line efficiently.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, somebody is just chatting up a storm, and you can feel me starting to boil. I'm in a hurry. Stop talking to the
Mhm.
cashier. Oh my God. And then I have to go, okay, breathe. Come back to present. There is purpose in this waiting for me and allowing myself to calm down, to take that pop quiz that just hit me in the face because it wasn't my expectation and rewire it to I guess it's telling me it's time to slow down.
Exactly. Exactly. I know when I was practicing law, my commute was 45 minutes. And when there would be a traffic jam or an accident, oh, I would get so keyed up sometimes. But then I would reframe it like, what was my expectation? Did I really truly expect to be able to make this commute at 7 in the morning with no traffic? And it would give me the giggles because who really would expect that? Why would that happen? And it would always calm me down just being able to be like, well, that's a silly expectation, Laura. You'll get there when you get there and truly in divine perfect timing. And I don't know what all those external circumstances are. All I'm in charge of is me, and all I'm in charge of is my energy, and I'll do what I can do in the moment. And I know I'm a strong person, and I know I will do my darndest to make it work. So why am I even worried?
Because somebody has the expectation that I'm going to be here at 9 o'clock and I want to blame everything on the traffic instead of me getting up 30 minutes earlier and hitting the road and maybe being early.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? I mean, when you really start thinking about it, it is comical.
Yes, I do laugh at myself quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like whether you physically fell on your face and you had to get up and smile at everybody and giggle, or it was an emotional fall on your face.
Mhm.
And I have always struggled more on the emotional side of coming up clean. Go ahead, fall on your face physically, and I just giggle it off. But there's more shame that I've had to process through on that emotional side, or when I don't respond and I've reacted.
Mhm. Mhm.
Then I beat myself up and I wanna hide, and I've lost friendships over wanting to hide because I'm ashamed of me. I don't want to have to face you for until I'm comfortable again. And then people, like, think you're rude. It's like, "I'm trying to
Right.
fix me," but it's okay because
Right.
it wasn't meant to be if that's what is.
Mhm. Yeah, that grace and acceptance for ourselves is really, really hard, isn't it?
Well, we're so trained, and I know you know this already, to be liked because when you're liked, you don't get kicked out of the club. And when you're not kicked out,
Mhm.
if you get kicked out of the club, you may not survive. We're not in olden times. I mean, prehistoric times when we had to be in fight or flight mode. Uh,
Yeah.
eh, I freeze. My go to is I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that you just did that and said that because when we are able to sometimes, I think, say what's going on inside, I'm feeling a lot of guilt over this, or I don't know what to do. It makes us so human. And sometimes I think that can be the strongest thing that we do, whether we're leading a meeting or it's something with our family. If we can just verbalize, I'm feeling this way, it's nothing to be ashamed of, but it lets people know where we're at. And you're right, if people like us, they like us, and if they don't, they don't. But at the end of the day, if people can say she's honest and she's really connected to her emotions, I think there's great power in that.
If you're the person who cries at everything and you're comfortable with it, it's okay.
Yeah.
If you're the one that goes and I need some alone time and goes hibernates for a week, it's okay.
Mhm.
Really embrace you, embrace what makes you tick. And if I don't like it, that's my fault. That's not yours. And when there's a saying, it's I love you so much that I'm going to let you be you.
Yeah.
And if we part because of it, it's because we didn't work as ourselves.
Yes.
That is not a bad thing on you or
No.
them.
No.
This doesn't work. You take those magnets that don't work, they're not going to go together no matter what. Yeah, if
Mm-mm.
you turn one around, then they're going to go together. But that's not this person's purpose. They don't want to turn around. And as
Mhm.
we allow those people their freedom, you start learning how to give you freedom too. And the same, the more and more that I find to focus on the positive in me, I'm able to do that for other people. And
Mhm.
that is so empowering. to be able to, I want to use the word justify other people's actions, but I really mean allow them
Mhm.
because they're not you.
Right. And the bottom line, we don't have any control over other people or their actions anyway. So if you really think about it, it's just a waste of time or energy. And it's just this head game that we're playing anyway. There is no outcome. So I'd rather just set my brain free and enjoy some life and enjoy those connections that are just connections and truly let the rest go.
So with you, I was like, this is so cool. Talking to someone who does completely like on the same,
Uh,
in the same room, looking out the same window. Hey, this window's been cleaned. We're good. This is clear vision. Doesn't mean it's going to be like that tomorrow. It could rain tonight, and I might have a harder time seeing that vision. And that's the grace that I want you to give you too, is it's okay to be, I'm going to call it 110% productive today because you're so on. And it's okay to be 0 tomorrow when you just need to sharpen your saw. Get those things in your life lined up so that you can be completely on again tomorrow.
yeah.
Ups and downs are just the way of life.
Yeah. And I have to say, there are times where I can know that in my head. I can absolutely know that in my head. But then tomorrow rolls around and I know I need to sharpen the saw, but there is such this struggle inside that I shouldn't have to. I'm better than this. And, it's the process then of talking yourself through it and being like, you know this in your head, Laura. How do you know this in your body? How do you know this in your heart? I would want other people to step back after giving 110%. How can I give myself that same grace?
Yeah, and if you did do the 110, you might need a full tank fill up.
Mhm.
Where if you just had a half of a day, maybe you only have to stop and put $5 in.
Yeah.
What we need to add to our lives should be equal to or more than what we took out of our lives. And I think our bodies and our brains have this I'm invincible. I don't have to stop. I can keep going because somebody else did. Because the machines that I'm competing with are. And not only are we competing with machines, now we're competing with intelligence. You look at the Industrial Revolution, and now we have this intellectual revolution of I don't have to I don't have to know it all anymore. I don't have to know where the book is. I don't have to have all that. I can just ask and it comes to me. And what power this intellectual revolution is giving us, but at the same time, it's scary.
Mhm. Mhm. I think women have kind of a distinct advantage around that though, because I think we can connect. It's not that men can't connect. Of course, men can connect, but we can so connect. We can create those networks. We can truly flourish when we are together. And the way I have looked at some of this AI is sisters in the sisterhood, more support and sharing that and building that connection. Yes, with people, but also with that AI to lift and grow so we can all flourish. And I know some people have been afraid of it, but I'm like, no, these are other people in my network, so to speak, that are here to help and support me. And what a gift that is.
Yeah, I've looked at like the cotton gin. How many people feared, oh, we're not going to have work for all the laborers anymore because now we have this cotton gin.
Yeah.
Same with the printing press. Oh no, what are we going to do? We're going to lose all of these jobs because now a machine is printing our papers for us. And then you get to the internet and you get to the computers and you get to our lives are changing. And as we embrace the change, and allow our expectations to change,
Mhm.
then we have so many more tools in our belt to live and to share
Yeah.
a best life.
Yeah. I love that you just brought in expectations because about 6 months ago is when I really started getting into AI. And I noticed my expectation was at first, I can get so much more done in a day. This is incredible. I can get so much more done. And then I thought, wait, Laura. Let's flip that expectation. Yes, I can get more done. Do I really need to? If I need to, I can. But that expectation is no. I now have more time in my day to take a walk, to connect with my animals, to actually make phone calls and talk to some people that I care about, but that I never have time to see. And I flipped that expectation around. And yeah, it felt a little scary at first. But I tell you, I'm taking walks every day now. I'm brushing my animals. I'm walking my dog. And I have had the most fun picking up the phone and just calling friends. Like calling friends? Who does that? I have things to do, but it fills me up. And then I get way more done. So I am now expecting more breathing space, more human connection, and more free time.
And that can come from so many different places, not just artificial intelligence. It can
Nope.
from hiring or delegating a task. Like, okay, I'm not going to go to the grocery store anymore. I'm going to Instacart it. You know that in 15 minutes of sitting online ordering your groceries, and then you're done.
Then you're done.
And then you don't have to go to the store. You don't have to pick it up. And if you put all the instructions down, they don't even have to text you a million times. They just do it and your stuff comes to you.
Yeah.
Can you let go enough to, that isn't what I would have picked as my substitute, but that's okay.
Mhm.
And it's when we can do that, look at the time that we're gaining in our lives. So, like you can even babysit your grandkid and they can be sick and you can have Tylenol here in 30 minutes or less.
Yes. Yes.
And you didn't even have to get up and go. So, what are those things that you think is an expectation that
Mhm.
you've put on yourself that you can let go of?
Yeah. I so much goodness in that. Just this week, my husband and I had talked the last summer about having our patio extended. Just Monday, he said, "Oh, by the way, the crew is coming to extend the patio." You wouldn't have believed the panic that came up in me. But I didn't control that. But I didn't create the design. Well, which crew did you use? Well, what color bricks? And then I had that moment of I need control. And then I just chose. I really made a choice. I'm going to breathe. I'm getting a patio and it's going to be done by Thursday. And if I love it, I love it. And if for some reason I don't love it, I can also choose to be okay with it because I didn't have to stress about that. And I had to do some mental mindset shift that I don't need control over this. Like you were talking about with the substitution, it's fine. It's all fine. And I can choose to be happy with it.
Yes. And it is all a choice. When we talk about expectations, burnout, any of the buzzword stress, it's a choice.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to worry about my future more than I really need to. Like I'm trying to come up with a full outcome, and why is it only going down the unhappy path? In testing, you always start with a happy path. You don't start with the unhappy path.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that in our lives? Well, we go down these rat holes of everything's going to fall apart.
Right. Right. And also, just one of the things I'd like to say a lot is sensation. Why do we even label things as stress or burnout or exhaustion? It's sensation. I have sensation all day, every day. Is this anxiety or is this excitement? Oh, I don't know. It's just a sensation. So just name, I'm having some sensation around this. Don't even label what it is. I'm just having sensation. Can I let that flow in my body? Yes. Can I choose to open my eyes wide, lift my head, take a few breaths, and step ahead? Yes.
And I've tried to do almost that same thing where I'll say things like, I am currently experiencing a headache. And so I'm going to work with that symptom. I don't have a headache. I'm experiencing it. It's not me. I can let go of it. And it's the same with a sensation. Right now, there's emotions going on in my body and I'm interpreting them as a stress. Let me just sit through them. And it's funny what feeling them can do.
Mhm.
Just tuning into them pulls you out of that future and pulls you into the now and allows those to not be as strong.
Yeah. Yeah, because when we feel it, we feel it. And do I like feeling them all? No, not particularly. But if I breathe through them, then they dissipate. And I do know from experience, the more I try to push it down, the bigger they become. And then they pop up at 2 in the morning and wake me up. So I'd rather just feel it now, spend a few moments of discomfort, and move on with my day.
I have lots of pain hidden underneath layers of onion.
Yep.
And it's just sitting there. And when I get to them layering that piece of onion that needs to be gone, probably going to blow up. I'm probably going to experience some stuff that I've been hiding for a long time. But with each unravel becomes a chance to experience the pain that you hid in a new way,
Yeah.
in a way that is building and not one that's holding you back or making you feel useless. And so it's so cool that we have them buried, where that now we can unbury them and let them do us good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And just that gratitude also, being alive, we feel things, you know? And sometimes I think when I'm experiencing like that, something's uncovered and I have to feel it. What a gift. I get to be here. I get to experience this. And sometimes just reframing that is really huge. I'm very grateful that I get to unpack that. I'm very grateful that I'm alive and aware enough and that I have compassion and that my heart is open enough to hurt. Because wouldn't it be terrible to be completely dead inside and to not hurt over some of this? I'd rather hurt.
That is funny because the same sensations that are pain are pleasure, and yes, when I stub my toe, it really is painful and it's not pleasurable, but it's that same receptors, it's that same process. And we can take those painful moments and learn from them. If we didn't have pain when we stubbed our toe, we'd probably keep stuffing them till they were broken. That pain is there so that we learn and avoid the things in the future.
Mhm.
We cover them up and we let them sit and throb and we hide them so much, they're going to expose. You're going to have to deal with that. And is it pain or is it just an experience that we hid from?
Yeah. Yeah. Because all of life is an experiment. Experiment. If you like the outcome, lean into it. If you don't like the outcome and it hurts, quit kicking the dresser.
Like, why does someone keep leaving their whatever in the middle of the floor? So you can kick it. My husband asked me that. Why'd you leave this in the middle of the floor? So you could kick it.
Exactly.
I
Clearly.
don't have an answer for why it just happened to be there, but I'll use it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all good.
And I love how you did that. Label change it's not just is, it's a
Mhm.
sensation. It just is. It's not good, it's not bad. It's an experience that I'm going through. If it's good, it's because I'm choosing for it to do me good. When you
Yes.
go to the gym and you work out, and for some reason we kill leg day worse than any other part of our body, and then we bitch and moan about it for days. Oh my God, it was leg day. I can hardly move. That is a benefit.
Yeah.
That thing that hurts so bad right now is helping you and
Mhm.
telling you, hey, it's okay to take muscle recovery time. Hey, it's okay. You don't have to do this every day. And those same lessons we learn from the gym and our muscle body, exist for our mental selves too. They're just not going to the gym to do it.
Yes. And I love that you just tied together the mental self and the body because I'm really big on that integration too. It's so easy to get stuck in our head, to live life from the neck up, to think our way through things, to process our way through things, to anticipate our way through things. And sometimes just dropping into our body, and maybe making ourselves sore. Maybe that's the best way to process some of that intense sensation, whether it's anxiety or stress. Let it flow through. And then we can be like, yeah, I feel the result of that. It's right there in my quads. But then
Or
we're
their mental quad.
exactly. But then we're connected. We're whole within ourselves because I think it's very difficult to be whole and present with other people, whether it's our family or coworkers, unless we can be whole and present with ourselves.
You know, because you are the center of your universe, because you are you, you must be present with you to be present with somebody else. Now, you can fake it.
Totally.
You can fake presence. You can fake whatever you want. But when you really feel it, it is different. It is, I'm trying to think of the word that would make it just really resonate with everybody. And we all have different words that match, but it's power.
Yeah.
It's giving yourself the power to be your very best self because you're not holding yourself back and second guessing every little thing that comes out.
Hmm. Yeah. And it feels amazing. And everybody here has such big desires. We want to do it all right. We want to take care of everything. It's like basically no woman I know doesn't want to. Let's just get to that. Most people really do. Most people want to do it right. They want to make progress. And then when we just cut it off and we perform and we lean into I have to do it right instead of I have to be, then there's no connection. Like you said, everybody has a different word, but it's not alive. I'm performing. And I know there's so many times in my life where I've performed. I've been the perfect wife. I've been the perfect mom. I've been the perfect attorney. I've been the perfect everything. But there's no satisfaction there because I'm performing it. And it's not me.
I call those my robotic years, where I was so disconnected from my feelings that I had intelligence and movement, but
Mhm.
there wasn't feeling behind them. And it was more just get work done. Get
Yes.
the kids fed, get the kids to bed, get them up, get going. And there was a lack of Lara Jane at the time because that was put on the back burner completely. But as we start identifying, hey, all I'm doing is recharging and going back. I'm not finding who I am. And when we start getting those glimpses, and I think even though gratitude may sound like the hard practice to do, when we really start tuning into the things that we're grateful for, you start really understanding who you are.
Mhm.
Without it, you don't really know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really thankful for my eyesight. It's gotten worse over the years, but wow, I still can see the beauty. I can still watch the clouds go by. I can, these things that are so near and dear to my joy. Like,
Mhm.
I love these things. Without my eyesight, I might not be able to do it. And how can we get into every one of our senses and every one of our thoughts and be that joyous or that thankful for it?
Yeah. And that kind of ties back to earlier, like when you talked about the first kiss, and when I was saying, how was it when you were a little girl? We were all so excited for all of these things. And how do we get back to that? How do we get back to, I can't wait to be an adult. I can't wait to have a first kiss. I can't wait for. Because think about all the things we couldn't wait for. And yes, they were unknown. And yes, they were scary. But so much of early life is I can't wait for that next thing. I can't wait to graduate. I can't wait to experience prom. I can't wait for a driver's license. I can't wait to be 21. And sometimes we can just create new experiences in our life. I can't wait for this. I can't wait. I can't wait to go to bed sometimes. I can't wait to use that new lotion that I bought for my face. I can't wait to try that new recipe instead of, oh gosh, another night where I have to cook for everybody. Create some fun. Play that game with yourself. What do you can't wait for?
I love it because even though you can wait, but you're waiting in a sense of anticipation. I'm excited for this moment because I have all these expectations. And if they're not met, I'm going to lean in and go, I'm still experiencing baking cookies for my family or whatever it is you chose to do. Whatever one thing you've been like so excited to do. We bought season passes to a water park for everybody this year. And it's like, can't wait to spend my Monday nights at the water park with the kids, with the grandkids. What is that thing? If it rains, am I going to be mad? No. If nobody can show up, am I going to be mad? No. But I have a vision.
Mhm.
Is it going to be exactly like I envision it? No.
No.
But is it going to be better than not having it? Yes.
And you took steps. You had the vision and then you bought the passes. And I think that's something that's really important to note too, because so often, you know, I'll have the vision. I recently bought this cookbook and it's like Disney dinner and a movie. And same thing, I'm like, I'm going to have the family come over. We'll watch the Disney movie and we'll have the matching meal. But did I plan a date for it? No, I forgot to plan the dates. I bought the cookbook and I had the idea, but I didn't take the step of planning the date. So sometimes just putting that action behind it and just reminding ourselves, it does take a little bit of action. And then if we only get 3 scheduled for the summer, we get 3 scheduled for the summer. If we get 10, great. If we get 1, great. But
Yeah.
taking that action.
We only had to go 4 times for it to pay for itself. So that's going to be easy, right? That's once a month.
Yeah, that's fine.
I love this idea of this book. I need to know it. So it's
it's
a
a fun one.
Disney cookbook?
Yeah, it's a downloadable cookbook. I wish I could remember the gal's name, but it's like Disney dinner and a movie. And it's a downloadable cookbook and it'll be like ratatouille. And then it'll have the appetizers, the drinks, the main course, the dessert, and a printout menu. And your family, your grandkids, your kids gets together and you can cook the meal together and then watch the movie as you eat the dinner.
Oh, how fun.
Doesn't that sound fun?
Yes. Disney and a movie. I'm going to have to do some searching. This is going to be fun.
Definitely. Then when you expect it to be fun, it is fun.
Not always, but
No.
especially when it comes to my cooking, it's like, oh, this is going to be so yummy. I can't wait to make it. And then it doesn't turn out like I wanted it to. So I DoorDash the rest of the food.
That
Like, you
works.
guys can try this, but here's something that you'll actually like. Got to have that backup plan ready.
Backup plans are important.
Oh, this has been fun. I'm just really thinking that really the focus on everything we've talked about is really putting ourselves in perspective, whether it's over expectations or not enough expectations or generalizing versus really pinpointing where we're at and how can you live your best life and you're not having to do it Lara Jean's or Laura's way. You get to do it your way. These are just ideas. So, Laura, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got so passionate about, you know, preventing all this expectations and doing things with grace.
Yeah, thank you for that. Like I had said, I'm a former corporate attorney, and it was a pretty intense job. And I ended up walking away. And that was one of those things where in the moment I thought, I'm being stupid. This is awful. It was the biggest blessing. Burning out and walking away was a huge blessing for me because of the life that I was able to create, the business I was able to create. And I have helped so many people be able to do just that reframe so they can either stay in the job that they have worked so hard to get. Help them be passionate about what it is that they want to create, to have that longevity. And that's just what keeps me going. The connection, the conversation, the experimenting. What works for me isn't going to work for you, but let me just help you brainstorm some ideas and then we'll try them together and then we'll evaluate. Yes, no, maybe, not this time. Let's try it again.
We kind of touched on this earlier in the podcast too, was like, I might cross some things off the list right up front. But at the same time, some of those things that are the most scary that you want to cross off your list may be that one thing that totally cracks you open and puts you into your next chapter.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think so many people have that fear of greatness. And sometimes that's just resistance coming up saying, don't do it, don't do it. But if you do it, it's it. So
We
yeah,
can do
try it all.
again.
Try it all.
And that's what life's all about. Give it a try.
Mhm.
It's not about fixing your neighbor. It's about finding what you like the most and doing those things and creating for you a happy life. And whether the person and people in our lives come and go or stay or whatever, that is just the icing on the cake. But when you are completely content with you, you will become content with all those around you. Laura, what is that one thing that our friend can work on this week to experiment with what might bring them out of burnout?
Yeah. This may seem out of left field, but stick with me on this
Oh,
one.
I like left field. Let's do it.
Exactly. The one thing I would really like you to do this week is find a song. Find a song from childhood, maybe your senior year in high school. Find a song that takes you back. You can close your bathroom door, put that song on, and I just want you to move. I don't care how you move. I don't care if it's just your head bebopping side to side or if you are full out dancing to that song. But just listen to that music, move your body, breathe, and have fun with yourself experiencing the joy of music and movement.
That is a fantastic thing to try this week because, music is such a mood producer. And if there's something that made you happy or energetic or restful, whatever feeling you're wanting to create, find that song and move to it. And sometimes a gentle sway is so grounding. It's just let it vibrate through you. So what a beautiful challenge. I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Friend, Laura and I are not medical or mental licensed professionals. We're here for entertainment. People want to help you along your path to wherever you're going. So thank you for joining and stay tuned for the next episode.
Are you tired of waking up exhausted? You are not alone. If you're looking to take your life back, let's start with the simple step of adjusting your self-talk. Stay tuned for the next episode with your host, Lora Jane. Remember to follow the show so you don't miss the next simple step that you can use to feel more confident. And please leave an honest review.